Introduced to the Western style,
Yeah,
you were hooked.
exactly.
You will not go back.
Exactly.
You will still play Persian style, but you prefer Western style.
That's right. That's right. So, can you briefly describe what are the major big differences between these two styles?
Well,
And we can see your board here if you want to explain on your board.
sure, okay. Well, the first difference is the dice roll, determining who gets first roll. In traditional Persian style, you have to call, I believe it's high or low, to determine who gets control of the dice. In Western style, it's done by roll of the dice, and each player will take like their dice, right? And I'm just going to use the baffle box because I enjoy using it.
Okay.
So, since I would be playing the black pieces, I would roll, and then white would roll as well. And since white has a higher number than black, white gets the opening roll. Okay? And it's not a case of picking up the dice and starting again. White has to take that 5-3 as the opening roll. And as we all know, playing backgammon, the traditional 5-3 is played to make the 3-point. You could get some players that could play very, very differently, but generally that's the play to me. So.
And in Persian style, we sometimes go with lower first
Yep.
roll, sometimes higher. We ask,
Yes.
do you want to be lower playing the first or the higher?
Right.
So
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the main difference
Yeah.
in the opening roll.
At the same time, we start the game by a game with dice, and then
That's
we
right.
continue.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
You see,
thank
for
you.
example, now it is mine turn. I had 5. Now I start with 4 and 2. But in modern style is different.
And another big difference is cups.
Yeah.
Okay. The beauty of this is when you roll, you're shaking. Excuse me. Sorry. Thank you, Abbas. You're shaking the dice, and there's so much tumbling action within the cup. Okay, so you're getting complete random. And what I like to do is I like to shake and use the box at the same time, so there can be no questioning, any like suspect rolling with your hands. So I try to be as like honorable as have my roll have as much integrity as possible. Okay, that's just
In traditional in Iran, you do like this.
With hands, with bare hands.
There is no.
That's right. Okay, what else? The differences.
well, you can
Hit and run.
in Western style, it's called picking and passing, or hit and run. Whereas, let's say something like this, okay, and white or black rolls a 2-1. What's on the board here? Okay. In traditional Persian style, you cannot hit and cover. Okay, that is completely legal in Western style. Completely legal. Okay, so that's a big difference. I
Can
find
you show it again, please?
is you can hit with the 2 and anchor with the 1. Whereas in Persian style, that is not allowed. Okay.
If you hit, you have to stay there or stay unanchored.
Yeah, you
You cannot cover
move
it again.
You can move, but you have not be covered.
You cannot cover, yes. Yeah.
You cannot go up, but you can be covered. For example, you can come from here on top
Yes,
of
you
it.
can.
Yeah.
So let's say the roll was 3-2. Okay. Yeah, this you can do in Persian style. Okay. How you would play a 3-2 in Western style? This. Oh God.
Maybe this one, you know?
Yeah, you would
In
probably.
Western style, we need to move these first. We should save these first
Yeah, but you still.
instead of those ones.
Well, you still probably want to cover.
Yeah.
So
Right,
one
and then move
question,
up
Matt,
to-
Pat, sorry. If you hit this one, so you can hit this one and then go for this one
You
as well,
can
right?
do that too. It
Okay.
depends how aggressive a player you are.
Okay, yeah, but I think that you can do it.
Yeah, you can do that for sure, right? And in some cases, that may be correct. You know, double hitting like that, right? It just depends on where you are in the match. If you're down and you want points, you want or you want an action game. Every player is different. They all have their own different styles. I've known some players to be highly aggressive.
Okay.
They hit everything,
Okay.
and they make your life miserable.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's merit to hitting, but you have to be controlled.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, it's all up to the player and their style.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you, Kash?
Farhad, you ask your question, please.
So let's talk about the statistics and the probability actually.
Oh, okay.
So this
all right.
is something that in Persian styles we normally generally do not think about the probability
Right.
most
Okay.
of the time. But I see that in Western style probability and all kind of calculations plays a major role.
That's actually a good question, Farhad. Okay. Let's say, for instance, we'll set the board up in this configuration. Let's say white's on the bar. Okay. And white needs obviously a 1 to come on. Okay. When I first started, I thought the chances of getting on the board were 1 in 6, like about 16%. And I was way off, absolutely way off. In this configuration, to get on one point, the odds of you getting on are roughly around 30%, a little over 30%. It's a huge number, bigger than you think, okay? And the reason for that is that there are 36 different combinations that you can roll. 15 of them are duplicated, okay? You can roll, can I have the white dice?
White is here.
Yeah, thanks. Let me put my glasses on for a second. Thanks, Abbas.
Yes.
So you can roll okay, these are the same numbers, 2, 1, but there's 2 different ways of rolling them. You can roll a black 2 and a white 1, or a white 2 and a black 1. Okay? So that's duplication of numbers. Okay, so there's 36 numbers, possible combinations. The doubles, double 1s, double 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, you can only roll that once. Okay? All the other numbers are duplicated. So you take the 36 numbers, take away 6 for the doubles, that leaves 30, but the other 30 are duplicated. So that leaves 15. So there's only 21 possible combinations of rolls that you can roll. Okay? But out of those 36 numbers, 11 involve, in this situation, 11 involve a 1. You have double 1s, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. And that's all of it. The 2, 1, the 3, 1, the 4, 1, the 5, 1, and the 6, 1 are all duplicated. The double 1s is not duplicated. So you have 2, 1 twice, 3, 1 twice, 4, 1 twice, 5, 1 twice, 6, 1 twice, plus a double 1s. That's 11 numbers. 11 numbers out of 36 yields about 30%. Okay? You guys understand that the math behind that?
Yeah.
You know what we really need, Cash? We need like a handout with that. We should work on that at some point, right?
That's right.
So, anyway, in this situation, you're favored to get on, or you're not favored to get on, but your odds of getting on are about 30%, okay? In this situation, where 2 points are open, you're actually favored to get on the board. 20 out of the 36 numbers involve either a 1 or a 2. Okay? Again, a sheet would be great. Okay? You have all the ones, which is 11. Double ones, 2 1, 3 1, 4 1, 5 1, 6 1. Then you go to the 2s. The 2 1s duplicated. You go to double 2s, 3 2, 4 2, 5 2, 6 2. That's 20 numbers. 20 numbers out of 36 is a fraction that goes from 20 to 36 to 10 to 18 to 5 to 9. Okay? 5 out of 9 is roughly around 55%. So in this situation, you're actually favored to get on a 2-point board or a 4-point board 55% of the time.
Thank you.
Actually, we were talking about the difference between these two style of backgammon. So, at this moment, we didn't finish the difference between these two. First, I think we should continue the difference, and then we can continue about the how to gaming.
Yeah. You mean between Persian style and
We didn't finish this till now.
Yeah. We talked about
I'm sorry,
first.
I got off because
Yeah. We talked about first rolling, first dice. We talked about hit and run. What else? Thank you, Abbas.
Let me help you in this part.
Thank you, sir.
In traditional in Iran, actually we were thinking always about the gaming and chance. But in Western style, actually we should know mathematics, the statistics, and also always remember that why we are doing this game. This game is math. It is not a chance. And all the website that we can go there and they will tell you that how to gain this style, not it is only chance. You know, mostly when I started to play this game, I thought it is very bad, how should I do that? But after 1, 2, 3 months, I found out now it is not easy. Always math is a part of the game, always. And the one who knows math, statistics, should be the best player in this game.
They definitely have an advantage for sure. Yes.
Thank you.
But in our style, chance is the best. For example, when we finish the game in Iran, we say, you have so more chance to win or lose, you know? This is something, big difference between these two styles.
That's
And
right.
do you mind if I ask you a question? Pia was just telling me that one of the biggest difference between Persian and Western, like style is that, for example, in Persian, as soon as you touch the dices, you have to play that dice.
Oh,
but
yeah.
in the Western, he told me that
Undo.
it was a big surprise. I mean, they said, okay, let's say that you get this one, you go from here to this one, so like a traditional play.
Yeah.
But in Western, as long as you don't take the dices,
Yes.
if you change your mind, you can, redo that
You
one.
can move the checkers around anywhere on the board just to have a look and say, okay, well, what does this play look like?
Yeah.
Or what does that play look like, right?
Okay.
Just so long as your dice are still flat on the board. The minute you lift them off the board, that signifies the end of your play. But you're right. You can move checkers around anywhere you like just to have a look and say, okay, I don't mind that play. Let me look at another play.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there's different candidate plays that you can make. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So-
Yeah, we have undo investor, but
Sorry?
undo.
Undo, yes.
But no undo in Persian style.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Persian, it's as soon as you touch the dices, you have. And another thing that I want to ask you, I had another question to ask about the cube. Yeah, what about the cube? Would you just tell us a little bit about that? I have no idea about that.
Okay, in Persian style, you cannot get backgammons, right, Cash? The motion gets 2
Actually,
points.
my own experience, we had backgammon in Iran.
Okay.
Whenever I was playing in Iran, we had backgammon, like 3 points. But when I moved to Canada, all or my Persian friends which we are playing, they don't accept backgammon. They say only gammon.
Right, okay.
And this is something different. But I think some players have backgammon, some players not. It's like optional.
Backgammons are rare, but
Yeah.
you know, they're still 3 points is better than 2.
Yeah.
And 6 points is better than 4 when
Yeah.
you factor the cube in play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. As Nima well said, let's go to the cube.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
the big difference.
The cube is a big difference, right? It's a wonderful tool in backgammon. It's a very dangerous weapon.
And you have too many cubes here. Wow.
For Shwet play.
Yes.
So we'll get into that at a later
Yeah.
date. But
Chouette is another kind of Western backgammon, which is very more exciting. Yeah.
yes,
Let me say something before we start talking about the cube. First of all, we should know that in traditional backgammon in Iran, we have 5. Each one should play 5 times, and then after 5 points, one is loser and one is winner. But in Western style, it is should be say at the first time that at the start time that we say 1, 2, or 1, 3, 5 something like this. We cannot say only 5 times gaming, you know. So in case we can play with Western style, in Western style you need to first say how many points do you want from this game.
Yeah, this match.
After
Yeah.
that, we will think about the cube. That the cube can help
Yeah.
you instead of gaming, for example, 25 times. Sometimes 3 times is enough to finish the game by
That's right.
using the cube.
That's
and
right.
now you can say.
Yeah.
I know that I'm pretty sure that in Monte Carlo, the World Championship, they played to 17 points in the main brackets. But when you start getting into the money round, I think it goes to 19 or 21 points. So it's a very, very long match. Okay, you're right. I mean, in traditional Persian style, they only play to 5 points. Okay, but this is where the beauty of the Western style comes in. I mean, you can play when I go to. I've gone to Las Vegas and I've played in the main, and we start with 15-point matches. 15 points. Okay, that's playing open championship style, right? Which means you're going to use this a lot. Okay, so you need to know when to cube.
When it's the time.
When is the time? Yeah, you want to cube just so that your opponent feels comfortable enough in taking, and if he does, that you can attack.
Oh, sorry, I have to stop.
Yes.
Let's start with what cube is. This is the first question of many of our team members. They need to know what cube is. Can you show what sides, show the numbers there? Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
The cube starts, it's 64, but it's really 1. We're all playing for 1 point, okay?
So it starts from 2, then the other
really-
side 4, then 8, then 16, 32, and 64.
Yeah,
6 sides,
yeah, yeah.
okay?
But 64 really means you're starting at 1 point,
Right.
okay? If one player feels they have an advantage in the game over their opponent, they can say, okay, well, let's double the stakes. I want to play on. If you want to play on, it's going to cost you potentially double the stakes if you accept the cube. If your opponent feels that they're not in a winning position, they will say pass or drop and give up 1 point and start a new game. If their opponent takes the cube, they gain control of it on their side. The game goes on. Instead of 1 point, the game now becomes 2 points. So if the player is lucky enough to turn the game around, they can flip it back to 4 points, and the opponent has a decision to make. Do I play on for 4 points, Or am I going to drop this, give up 2 points and start a new game? The risk gets higher and higher and higher. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool in backgammon, one that shouldn't be taken lightly. You have to, it's a thinking man's game. It's very difficult. The cube play is the hardest to master in all the backgammon. It really is. I mean, some of the best in the world blunder. So it's just a great tool, Cash.
Yes. Okay. Reza, do you have any question? No. Nasir? No. Huyan?
Yes, I have. Speaking about strategies, so there are several classified strategies in Western style. And it is very different to change a strategy when you are playing in Western style. But it is very easy in Persian style when to change your strategy. Could you please speak about that?
You have to, in Western style, even Persian style, you have to be able to adapt on the go. Like every role can change the complexion of the game. So you have to know when it's time to attack. You have to know when it's time to go into a defensive mode. You have to know when it's time to run. There's about 5 different plays, and you have to be concerned with each one of them each time. It's such an interesting game. It's so complex. It really is. I mean, there's so much going on at all times. Let's kind of deal with the opening rolls too, Kasha.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other thing about the cube before going to the next step? What happens if you don't take the cube?
If you don't take the cube, if your opponent offers you a cube and you do not take the cube, or he doesn't or she doesn't take the cube, then he or she will give up 1 point and the board gets reset and you move on to the next game.
And if you take it?
If your opponent takes the cube, it goes on his or her side at 2 points and the game continues.
And then
double
whatever
amount.
result will be, it will be time 2.
The game will, instead of starting at 1 point, the game will now go on at 2 points, with the potential for it to be turned again in your
So a
opponent's.
backgammon will be 6 points.
A backgammon would be 6 points. So the value of being 3 points plus 2 times the value of the cube.
Right. And in case of redouble, and if it has gone to 4, for example, your side, and you do a backgammon, you will get 12 points.
I would get 12.
12 points.
Yeah.
So for example, a 25 points match will be just 2 or 3 games.
It's tough to get backgammon, so Kasha.
So, yeah, do you think Western style might be in some cases faster than Persian style?
What I tell a lot of people is that the most attainable number is 4 in Western style. You pass the cube to 2 and you get a gammon. Okay? So really when I play, I'm looking to try and see if I can get 4 points as much as possible. I will make some different play, odd plays sometimes, and people are going, why are you doing that, right? Because I'm thinking, how can I get 4? So sometimes I risk more than I should. Like when we had earlier Abbas, right? And I slotted, right? And you didn't like that play, right? But I'm thinking to myself, how can I get more? Okay? So, and I always tell everyone, what appears to be the best play is not always the best play. Okay? But it comes down to style. It comes down to style too, right?
Nice. Okay, let's go to openings then.
All right. Okay. The best opening roll. Back in the day, people used to think this was the best opening roll. Okay? The computers have told us that's not quite right. 3-1 is the best opening roll. Okay? Now there's a reason for that, okay? This point here, it's called a 5 point. This is the most valuable point on the board, okay? You want to try and gain this point as quickly as possible, okay? People will fight over this point because it's so valuable, okay? I've seen back and forth, just hit, just to try and get this point, okay? Backgammon is a fight. It really is a fight. It's a fight for territory. It's a fight for ground. You have to learn to fight, okay? You cannot be afraid, okay? If you fight and you lose the battle, it's not lost because you have to regroup then, okay? But this point here is the most valuable point from an offensive standpoint and a defensive standpoint. Having both, that's what you want, okay?
In Persian, we say afshar home. Home
Good.
point.
Afshar.
Afshar point. Yeah.
Which
It
means,
has a special
Afshar is a
name.
name.
A name for
Just
this
a name.
position.
oh, okay.
Afshar. This
Okay.
is the most important part of the rooms here.
In Western
What we
vernacular,
call it,
it's called the golden point.
golden
Golden
point.
point.
We call it
The golden-
Afshar point.
Okay.
Something like this.
So the 3-1 is a great opening roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you're going to take the 5 point with your opening 3-1. Okay, the next best opening roll is arguably 6-1 or 4-2. Okay, both are good. All right. I'm not sure which one I favor better. I do like both.
May double
But-
one. May double one is not too bad too.
Yeah, but you can't start on double one.
Oh.
Your opponent can start on double one. You can't start because you have to. The opening roll, you have
Oh,
to see who gets control of, who wins the opening roll. Someone told me long ago that what you want to do is you have such a stack here. You want to unstack those as quickly as possible. You want to get them in play, okay? So if you start with a 2-1, most people are gonna play this with a 2-1, okay? So a lot of people do that, but do not be afraid to do this
Instead of that.
instead of this.
Wow.
Okay, this has reward. There's you have to risk to be rewarded. Okay, yes, you can get hit, but the risk of getting hit
1/6.
is you're only going to get hit 45% of the time. Okay, a lot of people make this play with the opening 2-1. If white misses, black can cover from here, here, and here. There's great reward. And this is the point people want to take. This is a very, very valuable point early on. Okay? So don't be afraid in backgammon to be hit. Okay? You have to learn to fight. Fighting is the most important thing. And I've seen people, like I say, I got into a brutal back game one time where I had like 6 checkers back in my opponent's board just because we kept on fighting over this point. Okay, this is crucial. This is very, very crucial point. And playing the 2-1, you have such a heavy amount of checkers here, so you've unstacked one of those. Okay, you've got connectivity right in this little area here. Okay, you're building early. Early is the best time to take chance because the game hasn't started yet. Okay, if you get hit, so what? You get hit. It's not the end of the world. You regroup, and you can still attack. Okay, so again, do not be afraid to open checkers up and slot because the rewards are great. Yes, you can lose, but you can win more than you can lose in situations like this. Okay, maybe not in Persian style, definitely in Western style. I played enough backgammon to know that situations like this can generate wins for me more than they can losses. So,
Does it matter if my question is for this example? you are talking about the rewards and taking risks for those rewards.
Yeah.
But if we are in the final or the close to final game, like if the match is 7 points, we are 6-5. Should we take that risk?
Who's got the 6 and who's got the 5?
Yeah.
See, it depends. It depends on the score. It depends if it's Crawford. So many factors you have to take into consideration.
So you are talking about 0-0, not just a start.
Yeah,
Okay.
generally when you're leading, you don't want to play as aggressive. You don't want to give your opponent opportunity. Okay?
So less risk will be
Less risk when you're leading.
Okay.
More risk when you're behind, because you need points. Okay? Like I say, if you're playing to 15 and let's say you're behind, your opponent is leading. Actually, here's a good example. I remember watching a video of the World Championships in Monte Carlo. They were playing to 17, and there was a fellow. He from Italy. He got behind 7-0. Just everything wasn't going for him. Wasn't working. Okay, he was getting frustrated because he's down 7-0, and he has to figure out, how do I get back into this? How do I get back into this? His opponent cubed him to 2. Okay, he took, and it was kind of not a great take, but he was getting frustrated and he didn't want to go down 8-0. Okay, he got to a situation where things started to turn a little bit. Okay, and he decided to flip the cube back to 8 or to 4, excuse me. It wasn't a good cube, but he's thinking, okay, I need to get back into this. I want points. I need points. I need points. His opponent took. Okay. Then things went bad. His opponent recubed back to 8. And he should never have cubed a 4, but he did. Now he's facing an 8 cube. Okay? Is he going to drop and go down 11-0? Or is he going to take? Potentially.
They can continue with it.
Well, he did continue, right? But he's in a losing position at this point. So now he risks going down 15-0.
Yes.
Okay? He cubed back to 16 and he was behind. And he won.
It's madness.
It's madness. In one game, it went from 7-0 to 16-7. In one game. But it never should have gotten to that point. But he was getting frustrated. He was just getting frustrated.
Obviously, there were many blunders in this.
Many blunders, yeah. So we all make blunders, Kapsha. The best players in the world blunder, right? Some are worse than others, right?
Sorry, you were talking about the best player in the world, and I just heard it, so I just came here to show up.
Sorry?
You were talking about the best player in the world, so I just heard that, and I came here to show
Oh.
up. Just kidding.
You should be in
today's
my
game-
chair then.
So come on, man. So today's game's gonna be up to 7, right?
Okay, what's the next thing in the opening? We were not finished over.
Oh, right, okay. All right, so we discussed the 3-1 as being the best opening roll, okay? The second best opening roll is either 6-1 or 4-2, okay? The third best opening roll is 5-3. The fifth best opening roll is 6-5, and a lot of people run. And I was running for the longest time, but I started changing my strategy a little bit, right? Instead of 6-5, I'm inviting contact here, okay? Now, the nice thing about 6-5 is, if you guys notice, okay, you have direct contact from this point to this point. You have direct contact from this point to this point, okay? You do not have direct contact from this point to this point, okay? So a 6-5, well, it gets this guy to safety. This one checker still needs, he's got a long way to go to hook up with this guy, okay? So, but the majority of players, and even the computers will say that the 6-5 is
Is the best.
the best play is to run, okay? And with me, I've been changing my style a little bit and doing this, okay? People say, well, why are you doing that? Why don't you just run? Yes, black can be hit here, but there are re-hits, okay? If white does not or hit and cover with a 6-1, or double 3s,
Or double one.
or double 1s, okay, chances are, let's say black rolls 6-2, okay, and decides to play something like this or something like that. Let's say black plays something like this, okay. White has a lot, or black has a lot of return shots to hit this checker. There's the 1-6, the 2-6, the 3-6, the 4-6, 5-6. Obviously, double sixes doesn't play. 2-5, 3-4. There's a lot of return shots. Okay, so while the majority of people out there will run to safety with the 6-5, I prefer to do something like this. It's not correct according to the computer, but it comes down to your style. How comfortable do you feel? Okay? And my play might change depending on the score. Okay? So you have to be kind of thinking a lot of different ways. Okay? So,
Anything else for today? Any questions?
I want to say something about the cube. Sometimes, at the first moment, your opponent make it double. Why it is correct or not? Sometimes it works. For example, you are playing, and the game should be finished at 5. Okay, and he is 4, and he thinks that it is in another good position. At the first time, as soon as he have chance, he said double. What should I do? Should I accept? Always should accept. Otherwise, you will lose at the same time. You know?
are you saying if the score, let's say,
Yeah.
4-0?
Yeah, he is 4. Suppose my opponent is 4.
Okay.
And I am 2, for example.
4-2.
As soon as we start the game, he says double.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
in say you say no and refuse the double, he will win and finish the game. You know, this is very important. Sometimes this happens that
Okay.
your opponent, no matter how he's going here, says double. You see?
Okay, so
At the
you're-
first time of the game, he says double. What should I do? In case I refuse this double, the game will finish.
Well, in
And
this case, if you don't accept it, you get 5.
yes, and the game has finished.
So I mean that you have no other choices. You have to accept it.
Yes, I want to tell the audience to know that at this situation you should accept the double.
Okay, so let's say in this situation, okay, let's say white wins, black wins the opening roll. Okay, black rolls something like 5-2. Okay, or even 4-3. Okay, so let's say black decides to move up with a 4 and come down with a 3. Okay, the score is 4-2. Okay, so obviously we're playing to 5. Whoever wins this game,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, white has to cube in this situation because black's going to win 1 point anyways. Okay, so white offers a cube to 2 for black. Now black has a decision to make. Okay, am I going to take this cube and the game is going to be worth 2 points and go on, or black can say, I'm leading 4-2. I can give up 1 point. Right? Do I need to take this cube?
No, you need 1 point. Why you have?
I'm saying I will take this because,
You have no other choice.
Yes.
I'm saying that.
yes, yeah.
And please, we forgot Crawford rule. Many of our Persian players don't know about Crawford rule.
Well, Crawford is basically,
Do you know Crawford? Farhad, Reza, do you know Crawford?
Yeah, I know.
You know? Nima? No? Nima doesn't know.
oh, so let's say in this instance, it's 4-2, okay? Black is 1 point away, we're playing to 5. Black is 1 point away from winning the match, okay? As a bonus for white getting, or black getting to that position, white is not allowed to cube for 1 game, okay? So the only way white can win the match in 1 game is a backhand. Okay, that's what the Crawford rule is. White cannot do for only 1 game only. Okay. After the game, it becomes.
If white wins, then
If white wins, it becomes post Crawford.
yeah, then they can double.
They can use the cube. Yeah.
Nice. Nim, did you understand it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
great.
So if someone gets to 4, so there's no other opportunity to that he doubles.
Just for 1 game.
Just for 1
Yeah.
game. Yeah. Interesting. And so a quick question.
Do you have any question?
Based on what just asked.
No worries. Yeah, you can finish. Do you have any
4-3
question?
now, okay. And so just at the beginning of the game, this player doubles. Would you accept it or not?
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's throw a 2 cube out here. Okay?
Excuse me, I didn't get the question. Can you
I
repeat
said that,
that?
okay, so regarding Abbas' question, I just want to ask another question. Let's say that the result is 4-3 for Pat, and you know, just at the beginning of the game, this player, let's say Abbas, doubles. So what's your strategy?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the role.
In post Crawford, right?
Post Crawford,
okay.
yeah, because now the game is going to be, the match is going to be decided on this 1 game.
So can I interrupt you for the second, please? So basically, what types of Western, game do we play? Is it going to be post Crawford, or is it going to be something different?
It's always with Crawford, and after Crawford will be post Crawford.
Okay.
These are always included.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's asking, should I accept
Yeah,
the cube
this was
in
another
this-
question,
in this
yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
right? I would probably accept because I won the opening roll. Okay? It's
It's kind of gambling, this player is gambling. He says that, okay, so it's 4 and I'm 3. If I win, okay, so I'll get 2 points, and if I lose, yeah, it's 4. So
yeah. But in this situation, black can actually drop this cube, and it would go 4-4 and start a new game.
And usually this happens, I guess, when the first roll goes to white, black has this opportunity to try another first roll, might be black's.
Let's say white wins the opening roll, okay? And white rolls a 3-1. Okay? And then black rolls and rolls something like
6-3.
4-4-1 or yeah, so it goes 4-1 or something like that. Okay, and then white offers a cube to black. Now black can drop this if he or she wants and restart the game because white has an advantage, positional advantage. Okay, because he's attained that strong point. So in this situation, I just might let it go. Give white 1 point, and then start a new game and play for the match the next game, right?
But I think that let's say, for example, if you're 4-3 and this player, was just okay. Let's say it was 4-2 and now it's 4-3. So the best, I think, this my assumption is that the best decision is just to double at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
For the 3, because if he'll lose one hand, you're gonna lose completely.
Yep.
Because you're 4, and if he wins, you're gonna win the game. So I think it's a smart decision to double just at the beginning of the game, right?
It is, but there are situations where, okay, let's say you rolled a 3.
I mean before rolling,
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right. But, okay, white's behind, so, and white wins the opening roll, let's say.
Okay.
Okay, white gets the best opening roll of 3. Okay, so white's gonna take the 5. All right, and again, let's say black rolls something not advantageous, maybe 4-3 or something like that, or whatever, okay? White, they're probably gonna cube, but there's a situation where, in some cases, white might be too good to cube. Where they think, okay, if they think their opponent's gonna drop, and they're only gonna get a point, they might hold off on cubing and trying to get a gammon without turning the cube, because they can always cube later. So there's gamesmanship going on throughout the match. But you're right, you want to cube as early as possible,
Yeah,
right? So.
All right, everyone, thank you for joining today. Thank you, Pat, for your time.
I wish I could have done better for you. I'm sorry this didn't present as well, but I'm glad that you invited me.
The only thing that I wanted to add to this workshop today is the best way to learn backgammon is to play it,
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
try it,
Yeah.
and take risks.
And Lord knows, me and that man right over there, we played a lot of backgammon together.
Yeah. He is here to win everyone
I'm
today.
still learning from him. And listen, we all learn from each other. I mean, there's plays that people make that,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Puyan. Thank you.
Thank you.